Now, before we head to 1890s New York, we'd like to ask you to note the exits behind you and in the front right of the auditorium, so that in case of an emergency, you know where you're headed. Please also silence your phones, because though we may not be sticklers for total historical accuracy, phones simply will not do. Oh my, I've been going on, haven't I? Well then, I suppose there's nothing else for me to say but enjoy the show.
Dolly Levi! That's right, Mrs. Dolly Levi, born Gallagher. Social introductions. Ladies and gentlemen of excellent family, introduced under the most respectable circumstances in an atmosphere of elegance and refinement. Object, matrimony. Unfortunately, I won't be able to offer my usual lightning service today, as I have a previous appointment in Yonkers, New York, in arranging the second marriage of Mr. Horace Vandergelder, the well-known half-a-millionaire. As my late husband Ephraim Levi always said, that means he has at least $60,000 cash. But I'll do my best to have you carried across somebody's threshold before the week is out. Now, I may also mention that I'm available for financial consultation, instruction in the guitar and mandolin, short distance hauling, and, oh dear, varicose veins reduced.
Mrs. Levi!
Mr. Kemper, the artist. You know, I'm something of an artist myself. I do those silhouettes with the black paper and scissors. Here's one of Ada Rahan looking the other way. I have to do them like that because I'm no good at noses.
Mrs. Levi, the train for Yonkers leaves in, 5 minutes, and if we don't get there on time...
But we will, Mr. Kemper. And not only will Mr. Vandergelder give you permission to marry his niece Ermengarde, but he will also dance at your wedding. And not alone either, because I happen to be engaged in finding him a suitable second wife himself. What he really wants is someone steady to clean the house. As my late husband Ephraim Levi always said, marriage is a bribe to make a housekeeper think she's a householder.
And I know all about it, Mrs. Levi. Half New York says he's to marry Mrs. Irene Malloy this very afternoon.
Which is exactly why I'm on my way to Yonkers this morning, Mr. Kemper, and can take on your case and knock off 4 lovebirds with 1 stone or whatever I'll throw in. Well. What do you think of that? I have nothing here to pay my train fare with, only large bills, 5s and 7s.
I should have something here somewhere. I only hope this isn't a wild goose chase, Mrs. Levi.
And speaking of poultry, I'm also available for fresh Jersey eggs, surgical corsets reboned, ears pierced, and pierced ears replugged.
Mrs. Levi! Tell me, Mrs. Levi, what's in all this for you?
A living, Mr. Kemper. Some people paint, some sew. I meddle. I have always been a woman who arranges things for the pleasure and the profit it derives. I have always been a woman who arranges things like furniture, daffodils, and lives. When a man with a timid tongue meets a girl with a diffident air, why should the tortured creatures beat around the bush when heaven knows Mother Nature always needs a little push? So I put my hand in there, duty to assist the Lord above. I have always been a woman who arranges things like luncheon parties, poker games, and love. My aplomb at cosmetic art turned a frump to a trump lady fair. She had countenance a little bit like Scrooge, but oh, today you would swear the Lord himself applied the rouge. I put my hand in there. I put my hand in there. I twist a little, stir a little, him a little, her a little, shape a little, mold a little, some poor chap gets sold a little. When I use my fist a little, some young bride gets kissed a little. Brush her with the thumbs, matrimony comes when I put my hand in there.
Mrs. Levi.
I know, Mr. Kemper, the Yonkers train is ready to leave. Now you go buy our tickets, order lunch, get a window seat, and I'll meet you on board. Ephraim Levi, I'm going to get married again. I'm going to marry Horst Vandergelder for his money and send it circulating among the people like rainwater, just like you taught me. And so I want a sign from you, sometime today, that you approve. Oh, it won't be a marriage in the sense that we had one, but I shall certainly make him happy. And Ephraim, I'm tired of living from hand to mouth, and so I need that sign.
Mrs. Levi!
Sometime today.
Damn! How can I be expected to play Yonkers My Yonkers with all this bellowing in my ears?
I can't help it, Uncle. I love Ambrose Kemper.
And I say you're too young to be in love with anybody. Here, take this.
I'm not too young. I'm 17. And in another year, I'll be an old maid.
Well, I forbid it. Dare to be an old maid, Ermengarde, and I'll cut you off without a cent. And don't cry in front of the store.
I can't help it. I'm unhappy.
Then by thunder, you'll go and weep for a while in New York, where it won't be noticed. Now go and start packing your trunk. And don't get any tears on the lock. It was just oil. Cornelius! Barnaby!
You stamped, Mr. Vandergelder?
I did. I've got news for you both. I'm going to New York this afternoon to march in the 14th Street Association Parade. And when I get back, you're going to have a mistress.
But, Mr. Vandergelder, I'm too young.
Not yours, hell and damnation, mine! What I mean to say is, I'm planning on getting married again, and in honor of that occasion, I'm promoting you, Cornelius, to chief clerk.
And what am I now, Mr. Vandergelder?
You're an impertinent fool, that's what you are, and I'm promoting you from impertinent fool to chief clerk. Any more questions?
Yes.
What?
Does the chief clerk get one evening off a week?
So that's how you thank me for your promotion, is it? No, sir. You'll attend to the store as usual. Now get back to work, and don't forget to put the lid on the sheep dip. Evening's off. Marrying artists? Foolishness. 99% of the people in this world are fools. And the rest of us are in great danger of contamination. Why, even I was once young, which was foolish, and I got married, which was foolish, and I was poor, which was more foolish than anything else. And my wife died, which was foolish of her. I grew older, which was sensible of me, and became rich, friendless, and mean, which in Yonkers is about as far as you can go. Well, I know what you must be thinking now. Why would a man of so much good sense be planning anything as foolish as getting married again? Well, the answer is simple. This house, without a woman, would be an empty shell. And pretty dirty, too. It takes a woman all powdered and pink to joyously clean out the drain in the sink. And it takes an angel with long golden lashes and soft rosin fingers for dumping the ashes. Yes, it takes a woman, a dainty woman, a sweetheart, a mistress, a wife. Oh yes, it takes a woman, a fragile woman, to bring you the sweet things in life. The frail young maiden who's constantly there for washing and bluing and shoeing the mare. And it takes a female for setting the table and weaning the Guernsey and cleaning the stable. Yes, it takes a woman, a dainty woman, a sweetheart, a mistress, a wife. Oh yes, it takes a woman, a fragile woman, to bring you the sweet things in life. And so she'll work until infinity. 3 cheers for femininity. Rah, 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 rah. F-E-M-I-T-Y? Get out of here! And in the winter she'll shovel the ice and lovingly set out the traps for the mice. She's a joy and treasure, for practically speaking, to whom can you turn when the plumbing is leaking? A husky woman to bring you the sweet things in life. Oh yes, it takes a woman, a dainty woman, a sweetheart, a mistress, a wife. Oh yes, it takes a woman, a fragile woman, to bring you the sweet things in life. All right, out of here, all of you.
Congratulations, congratulations, 1,000 congratulations.
What? What?
Congratulations, Mr. Vandergelder. All New York's buzzing with the news that you've practically proposed to Irene Malloy. The streets are lined with eligible young ladies prostrate with grief. All my congratulations and sympathy.
Did you say sympathy?
A slip of the tongue, that's all. No, I was delighted with the happy news. After all, you know she wasn't easy to unload. And by that, I just mean, you know the rumors that went around, though I never believed them. No, I didn't.
Rumors? What rumors?
Nothing to get upset about, Mr. Vandergelder. By all known facts, her first husband passed on quite naturally. It's just that he went so sudden. A few spoonfuls of chowder she made special for him, and... But there's no truth in it. No, just one word of advice, Mr. Vandergelder. Eat out.
Now, hold on, Mrs. Levi. Do you mean to say that Mrs.
I
Malloy...
mean to say nothing, Mr. Vandergelder, just friendly advice. Stay away from the chowder. By the way, I hear she's ordered her wedding dress. Beautiful, you should see it. Black.
Now, see here, Mrs. Levi. Rumors or no, you introduced me to Mrs. Malloy, and I still intend calling on her this evening as arranged.
Oh, very well. Then I suppose there's nothing for me to do but go back to New York and tell that other girl, the heiress, not to wait.
Wait, what did you say?
Nothing. A word. Heiress.
Particulars, Mrs. Levi. I demand particulars. Her name.
Her name. Money. Ernestina Money.
What a lovely, lovely name.
Picture, if you will, hair as shiny as a newly minted dime, eyes as big and round as silver dollars, skin as soft and mossy as an old greenback.
I can feel her now.
Age 19, weight 102, waist 47.
Waist 47?
That's with the money belt. No, I could arrange for you to meet this Ernestina this very afternoon.
I ain't got time, Mrs. Levi. I gotta take my niece Ermengarde to New York this afternoon until she forgets a certain Ambrose Kemper.
I can do that for you, Mr. Vandergelder. I know just how to handle such things.
Then I'm marching in the 14th Street Parade.
What an amazing coincidence. Guess who's been chosen to ride on the main float, the spirit of 14th Street? Miss Money. Her mother was a cash, you know.
All right, Mrs. Levi. I'll meet this Miss Money at the parade, but I still intend paying another call on Mrs. Malloy first.
Oh dear, what races you make me run. Very well, then I'll meet you on that bench outside Mrs. Malloy's hat shop at 2:30 as usual.
One more thing. What if I decide against Mrs. Malloy and I don't like Miss Money neither?
Well, then I happen to have one more name on my list, a name I know as well as my own, but let's not get into that now. It'll come up all in good time. Oh, but wait till you see Ernestina, Horace. A vision, a dream.
It takes a woman all powdered and pink to joyously clean out the drain in the sink. And it takes an angel with long golden lashes and soft resin fingers for dumping the ashes.
Yes, it takes a woman. You know, Ephraim, I think I'm going to have that room done over in blue wallpaper. Yes, blue. Ermengarde, Ambrose, come out here. We have plans to make.
Chief clerk. Promoted from chief clerk to chief clerk. And in 10 years, if I'm good, I'll be promoted to chief clerk again. 33 years old, and I still don't get an evening off. When will I begin to live?
You can live on holidays, Cornelius.
Did you forget what we did last Christmas, Barnaby? We spent all afternoon cleaning up the mess from the rotten tomatoes that exploded. Do you call that living?
No.
Barnaby, we're going to New York.
New York? You mean close the store?
Uh-huh.
Cornelius, we can't.
We'll have to. Some more rotten tomatoes are going to explode.
Holy cabooses, how do you know?
I'll light a candle under them. That's how I know. It'll make such a smell. Customers won't be able to come in for 24 hours. That'll give us the evening off. Barnaby, we're going to New York, and we're going to live. We're going to have a good meal. We're going to be in danger. We're going to spend our money. We're going to be arrested.
Holy cabooses.
And that's not all, Barnaby. We won't come back to Yonkers until we've kissed a girl.
But Cornelius, you don't know any girls.
I'm 33 years old. I have to begin sometime.
And I'm only 17. It isn't so urgent for me.
New York, Barnaby, elevated trains, Barnaby, the lights of Broadway, the stuffed whale at Barnum's Museum.
A stuffed whale?
A stuffed whale. What do you say, Barnaby?
Yes, Cornelius. Yes!
Now, the first thing to do is make you financially independent. I know, I'll find you a job. Can you dance?
I'm an artist, Mrs. Levite. I paint.
Well then, my card.
Mrs. Dolly Levi, painters taught how to dance.
There's a lady, Ruby Raisinfaber, at the Harmonia Gardens restaurant. I'll give you a note for her, and we'll see if she can't have you both entered into the dancing contest tonight. The prize is a week's engagement and a solid gold cup. Oh, the cups we won, Ephraim and me.
Now hold on, Mrs. Levi. No fiancé of mine will set foot in a cafe. And I don't mind saying, I'm surprised you have acquaintances in a place like that.
Not acquaintances, Mr. Kemper. Friends. Dear friends from days gone by. My late husband, Ephraim Levi, believed in life and any place you could find it. Cafes, ballrooms, yes, even theaters. Why, even when times were bad, down those stairs at the Harmonia Gardens we came every Saturday night like clockwork.
It's all very well to come down like clockwork, but you're asking in regard to work there.
It's the only way to show Mr. Vandergelder that we mean business. Now, this afternoon, you go to New York and give Ruby my note, and incidentally tell her that Dolly's coming back, and I want a table for 2 and a chicken for 8 o'clock tonight.
All right, Cornelius, the cans on the bottom look all right. Now hold the candle near the ones on top. No, not too close. Look, they're swelled up like they're ready to bust. Oh, Cornelius, I can smell that all the way up here.
Let's get dressed, Barnaby. We're going to New York. Out there's a world outside of Yonkers. Way out there beyond this hick town, Barnaby. There's a slick town, Barnaby. Out there, full of shine and full of sparkle. Close your eyes and see it glisten, Barnaby. Listen, Barnaby. Put on your Sunday clothes, there's lots of world out there. Get out the brilliantine and dime cigars. We're gonna find adventure in the evening air. Girls in white in a perfume night where the lights are bright as the stars. Put on your Sunday clothes, we're gonna ride through town in one of those new horse-drawn open cars. We'll see the shows at Delmonico's, we'll close the town in a whirl, and we won't come home until we've kissed a girl.
Put on your Sunday clothes when you feel down and out. Start down the street and have your picture tour. Just like a dream, your spirit seems to turn about. That Sunday shine is a certain sign that you feel as fine as you look.
Beneath your parasol, the world is all a smile that makes you feel brand new down to your toes. Get out your feathers, your patent leathers, your beads and buckles and bows, for there's no blue Monday in your Sunday clothes.
Come on, Barnaby, we're going to New York, Barnaby, elevated trains, Barnaby, the lights of Broadway.
Holy cabooses!
The stuffed whale at Barnum's Museum.
Wow!
Come on!
Beneath the parasol, the world is all a smile.
With your bowler brim, the world's a simple song. A lovely lilt that makes you tilt your nose. Get on your slickers, your flannel knickers, your red suspenders and hose. For there's another Monday in your Sunday clothes.
Ermengarde, stop sniveling. You'll cry on the valises. We haven't missed the train yet, thank the Lord. Marvelous, you're improving. Now get all 11 pieces. We're 7 minutes late. All aboard!
All aboard. No Sunday clothes, there's lots of world out there. Put on the silk cravat and patent shoes, for I can feel adventure in the evening air. To town we'll trot to a smoky spot where the girls are hot as a fuse.
Put on your high silk hat and at the turned-up cuff, wear a handmade gray suede button glove. We'll join the Astors at Tony Pastor's and listen positive of
That we won't come home, that we won't come home, that we won't come home until we fall in love.
Oh dear, oh my, will you look at that? 10 o'clock and the shop's not open yet. It's all because of that impending marriage, I tell you. What, marriage? Oh, I thought you knew. Why, the marriage Mrs. Levi is arranging between Mr. Horace Vandegelder, the well-known Yonkers half-a-millionaire, and my employer and friend, Mrs. Irene Malloy. Although, if you ask me, he'll never take the place of her late husband, Mr. Peter Malloy. May he rest in peace wherever he is, I'm not sure. He was a caution, you know. Oh, it's all too much with these late husbands and new marriages. And on top of everything else, Miss Mortimer returning the hat for the 3rd time. Same old story. She wants more cherries and feathers, cherries and feathers. To catch a beau, I suppose. Although, if you ask me, she'd be better with a nice heavy veil. I told her, ribbons down our back is what we'll be wearing this summer if we want to catch the gentleman's eye, but she'd have none of it. Cherries and feathers she wants on today of all days when that poor, dear, sweet Mrs. Malloy has enough on her mind. What with?
With what, Minnie?
With the door. It's stuck.
It's stuck? Then push.
And as I was saying, Mrs. Malloy, I could bite out my tongue for the things I've said and the things I'm going to say, but as long as I've gone this far, I'm going to go all the way. Mrs. Malloy, why?
Say it, Minnie. Why have I decided to marry Horace Vandergelder?
Oh, Mrs. Malloy, I didn't ask you that. I would rather die on the rack than ask you such a personal question. But as long as you did bring it up.
I am marrying Horace Vandergelder for one reason and one reason alone. To get out of the millinery business. I hate hats.
Mrs. Malloy!
And I can no longer stand for being suspected of being a wicked woman with nothing to show for it.
Oh, Mrs. Malloy.
Don't protest, Minnie. All mill nurses are suspected of being wicked women. That's why I can't go into balls or theaters or restaurants. That's all the proof they need. And take my word for it, Minnie. Either I marry Horace Vandergelder or I break out of this place like a fire engine. Oh, no, not Miss Mortimer again.
Miss Mortimer, I'll take care of it.
No, Minnie, leave it be. You can make her another one if you like. I think I'll wear this one myself.
But Mrs. Malloy, you can't. You're a widow in that hat. Well, it's provocative, that's what.
Is it, Minnie? Well, who knows who may come into the shop today, and provocative may be just what I want to be.
Oh, Mrs. Malloy.
I'll be wearing ribbons down my back this summer, blue and green and streaming in the yellow sky. So if someone special comes my way this summer, he might notice me passing by. And so I'll try to make it easier to find me in the stillness of July, 'cause a breeze might stir a rainbow up behind me that might happen to catch the gentleman's eye. And he might smile and take me by the hand this summer, making me recall how lovely love can be. And so I will proudly wear ribbons down my back, shining in my hair, that he might notice me. And so I will proudly wear ribbons down my back, shining in my hair, that he might notice me.
Oh, Mrs. Malloy, wild horses couldn't make me ask this next question I'm about to ask, but I'm going to ask it anyhow. Do you love Horace Vandergelder?
No, Minnie, I don't. Peter Malloy, God rest him, was my fair share of love, and I'm not saying I was shortchanged. Once is enough for a woman as long as it's true love, and that it was. Minnie, I think there's two men staring at the shop.
Men?
Why, I believe they mean to come in here.
Men? In the shop? Oh, Mrs. Malloy, what shall we do?
Do? Why, we flirt with them, of course. I'll give you the taller one.
Oh, Mrs. Malloy, and you with all that talk about love.
Love enough I've had, Minnie. It's a bit of adventure we could do with now. We'll get 'em all heated up and then drop 'em cold. It'll be great practice for married life. Now, you go into the workroom. I know some ways we can perk up our appearances. Besides, a little bit of weight will only make them more nervous and easier for us to...
If you say vampire, I'll scream.
Vampire! I'll try to make it easier to find me in the stillness of July. 'Cause a breeze might stir a rainbow up behind me that might happen to catch the gentleman's eye. Oh, Minnie, we'll get an adventure out of this yet.
We'll get an adventure out of this yet, Barnaby. All day long, we wander around the streets of New York, and nothing happens. Then we come to the quietest street in the city, and suddenly...
Vandergelder!
Is he still there? Go look.
Oh, he's sitting right on that bench. Cornelius, are you sure this is an adventure?
You don't have to ask, Barnaby. When we're in one, you'll know it. How much money do we got left?
Not much. 40 cents for the train home, 30 cents for dinner, and 20 cents to see the whale. 90 cents. Why do you ask?
Well, when they come out, we'll have to pretend to be customers. Customers, that's it. We'll pretend to be rich, so then we don't have to buy anything. We're two men about town looking for some hats for ladies. Good afternoon, Mrs.
Malloy.
Here, Cornelius Hackle.
Here, Barnaby Tucker.
My pleasure, gentlemen. Now, what can I help you with,
Well, you see,
We're hats, and we
two
were
ladies
looking around
about
ladies
town,
for town to
looking
Malloy
for some
with-
hats to
and-
Malloy with, and we want a hat for a lady, of course. And everybody said to come to Mrs. Malloy's hat shop because she was the prettiest. I mean, her hats are the prettiest.
And so reasonable, Cornelius. As reasonable as under $1, which would leave us enough money to see the whale.
Oh, now don't pay any mind to him, ma'am. He came all the way from Yonkers to see the whale, and he's all excited. Go look on the street, and maybe you'll see it pass by.
Is it big and black with mean little red eyes?
Yes.
It's sitting right on that bench.
Excuse me, Mr. Hackle, but did you say Yonkers?
Oh, yes, ma'am. And forgive me for saying this, but you should really see Yonkers. By that, I mean maybe Mr. Malloy would like to see Yonkers, too.
Oh, Mr. Hackle, I'm a widow.
You are? Barnaby, she's a widow! That's too bad. I'm sure Mr. Malloy would have enjoyed Yonkers, especially in this hat. On you, of course, not Mr. Malloy. May he rest in peace. You are Catholic, aren't you? Don't let that worry you. I'd be willing to change. Mrs. Malloy, if you ever happen to have a Sunday free, I'd be more than willing to show you Yonkers, top to bottom.
Well, perhaps I just may be there sooner than you think.
Oh, really?
You see, I have a friend who lives in Yonkers.
Do you?
Perhaps you know him.
Perhaps we do.
Oh, it's always foolish to ask in cases like this. It's, Mr. Vandergelder.
Horace Vandergelder?
Of Vandergelder's Hay and Feed?
Do you know him?
No, absolutely not.
No.
He's a substantial man and very well liked, I hear.
Oh, lovely, Mrs. Malloy. Just lovely. Has only one fault on him, as I'm aware of. He's as hard as nails.
Cornelius, look. It's Vandergelder.
I wonder if your
He's gonna
friend
come in
might
here.
like this one?
Cornelius, look out!
Excuse us, Mrs. Malloy.
Gentlemen, what are you doing?
Help us, Mrs. Malloy.
Come out of here this instant!
We're as innocent as can be, Mrs. Malloy.
Well, really, Mr. Hackle, Mr. Tucker, if you two don't come out of here immediately, I'll be forced to... Mr. Vandergelder.
Mrs. Malloy. Mrs. Levi wouldn't happen to be here, would she? She was supposed to meet me on that bench 10 minutes ago. Well, she can just go looking for me if she comes. When I make an appointment, I like people to be on time. Here's a present for you. That's chocolate-covered peanuts, unshelled. That's the expensive kind. Did I just see you talking with two men?
Men, Mr. Vandergelder. What would men be doing in a ladies' hat shop? Now, let's go into my workroom. I'm so anxious for you to see it.
I saw it last week.
So you did. Well, anything new in the hay and feed business? I hear you have 3 friends, hard as nails. I mean,
What on earth are you talking about?
Yonkers. I hear it's a beautiful city.
And who's been telling you about Yonkers, may I ask?
Nobody. A friend.
What friend?
Well, it's always foolish to ask in cases like this. It's, Mr. Cornelius Hackle?
Did you just say Hackle?
Why, yes.
He's only my head clerk, that's all. Mrs. Malloy, I demand an explanation.
And I'm going to give it to you. Why wouldn't she know Cornelius Hackle? Everybody in New York knows Cornelius Hackle. He's here at the opera, he's in all the fashionable homes. Why, he's even at the Harmonia Gardens 3 times a week.
Impossible. He's only got $146.35, and I keep it in my own safe.
Mr. Vandergelder, you're killing me. He's one of the Hackles. They built the canal.
What canal?
The
The
Panama.
Erie. Both.
It ain't the same man.
Who took the horses out of Jenny Lynn's carriage and pulled her through the streets? Cornelius Hackle. And who dressed up like a waiter at the Fifth Avenue Hotel and dropped an oyster down Mrs. Astor's, well, I can't say it, but it was Cornelius. He's the playboy of New York. Now, Irene, I can see you were taken with him just like everybody else.
Well, really, Dolly, I mean, I've only ever met him once in my life. I barely even know him. I mean,
Excuse me.
Of course. Oh, Minnie, hold your tongue! There's a man in there!
Look here, if there's a man in that closet.
You can't? It's too dangerous.
Stand aside, Mrs. Levi. No man that hides in ladies' closets can frighten me.
No man, indeed. I'm sure you'd make short work with any man. Oh, those muscles. I can see them now rippling underneath your coat. Ripple, ripple, ripple.
For the last time, Mrs. Levi, would you stand aside?
Stand indeed. That's what the courts will be wanting to know when you're accused of entering that closet without a search warrant. I mean, what do you stand for if not for the laws of this great land? I know what I stand for. I stand for motherhood, America, and a hot lunch for orphans. Take off your hat, Sir Betsy Ross's flag is passing. Do you see him on the hill at Gettysburg, neath the great triumphal arch? If you see him as he's trampling through the grapes of wrath, stand up and march, march, march.
Has this not affected you, sir? I came here at the age of 14 as an immigrant girl from a land that oppressed my people, and so I simply must echo what the great and patriotic American,
Moses?
yes. I stand for motherhood, America, and a hot lunch for orphans. Take off your hat, sir, there's a tear-stained eagle passing. Do you see him on the bridge at Waterloo, neath the great triumphal arch? If you hear him singing Dixie and the sugar cane, stand up and march, march, march. I stand for motherhood, America, and a hot lunch for orphans. Take off your hat, Sir Betsy Ross's flag is passing. Do you see him on the hill at Gettysburg?
Yes, Dad, I dropped the cherry tree down. Oh, Stonewall Jackson, glory, glory,
hallelujah. Stand up and march, march. 7 years ago. March, march.
To form a more perfect union.
March, march.
Damn the torpedoes! Full speed ahead!
March, march, march.
So you see, Mr. Vandergelder, there couldn't possibly be a man in that closet. Bless you.
Mrs. Malloy?
Well, perhaps there is a man in the cupboard.
Aha!
and one under the table, too.
What the devil?
But there also happens to be a very simple explanation for all of this. But as of now, good afternoon.
Goodness, the whole room's crawling with men. I'll never get over it. I trust I'll see you later this afternoon, Mr. Vandergelder.
You certainly will, with a certain young lady at the main float at the end of the parade. Good day, Mrs. Malloy.
Mrs. Malloy, I can explain.
I do not wish to hear either one of your explanations. If you two do not leave my shop immediately, I'll have no choice but to call Officer Goggerty.
Well, if you ask me, Irene, calling an officer is going too easy on them. The law courts, that's where they belong. I've added up the legal offenses these two have committed, and so far you have grounds for 2 writs, a non compos mentis, and a garnishee. Now, the main thing is to show that you tried to settle it amicably first. Have dinner with them.
Dinner?
Well, Dolly, is that really necessary?
It's the way things are done in the law, Irene. Dinner first, garnishee later.
Well, if that's how it must be, then, gentlemen, you may take Minnie and I to dinner.
Delighted, Mrs. Malloy. I speak for Barnaby, too. Now, I hear there's a really nice restaurant in the railroad station.
Oh, no, no, no. If the Harmonia Gardens is good enough for your fashionable friends, it'll be good enough for Minnie and I. I hear they have an amazing orchestra.
Oh, no, Mrs. Malloy. We couldn't go there. Now, don't misunderstand me. It's not the money or anything. It's the
whale.
It's the whale. No, Barnaby, it's not the whale. It's the dancing. In a place like that, they have dancing and exhibitions and even contests. And I don't know how. It would take me weeks, months, years to learn. Mrs. Dolly Levi, 33-year-old chief clerk's taught to dance.
It's quite simple. You just put one hand here and one hand here.
It's no use. I have absolutely no sense of rhythm.
Absolutely no sense of rhythm is one of the primary requirements for learning by the Gallagher-Levi method. Just give me 5 minutes of your time, Mr. Hackle, and I'll have you dancing in the streets. We'll start with lesson 7, the waltz kick turn. Right foot touch, left foot touch, out and spin in.
Ooh.
Let's try again.
Okay.
Right foot touch, left foot touch, out and spin under.
Sorry.
It's quite all right. That's wonderful. Now when I think of all the lucky ladies who will find heaven in your arms, let's go back to lesson 1. Put your hand on her waist and stand. With her right in your left hand. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Look, I'm dancing. Oh. Well, I was.
Of course you were, Mr. Hackle.
Oh.
Whose arms you're in, hold on to her tight and spin. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Look, I'm dancing.
Turn around, try floating through the air. Can't you be a little more aesthetic?
Don't you think my dancing has a polish and a flair?
The word I think I'd use is athletic.
Well, my heart is about to burst. My head is about to pop. And now that I'm dancing, who cares if I ever stop? I, Cornelius Hackle, sport am dancing.
You're next, Mr. Tucker. Glide and then step and glide.
And everyone, stand aside.
Look, he's dancing.
for the tango filled with passion seething.
I might join the chorus of the Castle Garden show.
Whatever you do, for gosh sakes, keep breathing.
Well, my heart is about to burst. My head is about to pop. And now that we're dancing, who cares if we ever stop?
When there's someone you hardly know and wish you were closer to, remember that he can be near to you while you're dancing. Though you've only just said hello, he's suddenly someone who can make all your daydreams appear to you while you're dancing. Make the music weave a spell, whirl away your worry. Things look almost twice as well when they're slightly blurry. As around and around you go, your spirits will hit the top. And now that we're dancing, who cares if we ever stop?
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
And now that we're dancing, who cares if we ever stop? How are you, Mrs. Rose?
Aches in my back, pains in my side, fats in my liver. I'm fine, really. My daughter Fanny got married, you know.
Did she?
Yes, a year last September. It hasn't been such a long time since you've lived here, Dolly. Such a long time.
Ephraim, let me go. It's been long enough, Ephraim. Every night for all these years, I've let out the cat, I've locked the door, I've made myself a little rum toddy, and every night before bed I've said a prayer, thanking God that I was independent, that nobody's life is mixed up in mine. Then one night an oak leaf fell out of my Bible. I placed it there when you asked me to marry you, Ephraim. A perfectly good oak leaf, but without color and without life. And suddenly I realized that I am like that oak leaf. It has been so long since I have shed one tear, nor have I been filled with the wonderful hope that something may end well. And so I've decided to rejoin the human race, Ephraim. And I want you to give me away. Before the parade passes by, I'm gonna get in step while there's still time left. Before the parade
Levi. Cornelius is taking us down to the 14th Street Parade. Everybody will be marching.
Why, Irene, you're crying.
Oh, Dolly, the world is full of wonderful things. Come with us, Dolly.
I will, Irene. I will. Before the parade passes by, I'm gonna go and taste Saturday's high life. Before the parade passes by, I'm gonna get some life back into my life. I'm ready to move out in front. I've had enough of just passing by life. With the rest of them, with the best of them, I can hold my head up high. For I've got a goal again, I've got to drive again. I'm gonna feel my heart coming alive again before the parade passes by. Look at that crowd up ahead. Listen and hear that brass harmony growing. Look at that crowd up ahead. Pardon me if my old spirit is showing. All of those lights over there seem to be telling me where I'm going. When the whistles blow and the cymbals crash and the sparklers light the sky, I'm gonna raise the roof, I'm gonna carry on. Give me an old trombone, give me an old baton before the parade passes by. Listen and hear that brass harmony growing. When the parade passes by, pardon me if my old spirit is showing. All those lights over there seem to be telling me where I'm going. When the whistles blow and the cymbals crash and the sparklers light the sky, I'm gonna raise the roof, I'm gonna carry on. Give me an old trombone, give me an old baton before the parade. I'm gonna raise the roof, I'm gonna carry on. Give me an old trombone, give me an old baton before the parade passes by.
Mrs. Levi, she's everything you said she'd be and more. Stay right there, Miss Money. I'm coming. Hey, you. Cut that out. That's my fiancée. Stop. Put that back. I paid for that girl and I want all the parts. Miss Money, what have they done to you? Mrs. Levi, I demand an explanation of this.
It's nothing to get upset about, Horace. A last-minute substitution. They ran a little short at the Mint, and Ernestina's helping out. But she'll still meet you at the Harmonia Gardens at 8 o'clock.
That's the most expensive restaurant in the city.
And well it should be. What food! And the fastest service in New York. Which reminds me, I'm going to be a little late this evening, but Miss Money will still meet you in front of the restaurant. Oh, but wait till you see her, Horace, all dressed in bright yellow with baby pink shoes. humming an old-fashioned tune. Sweet Rosie O'Grady. Oh, you couldn't miss her if you tried.
All right, Dolly, I'll go, but only because I already paid for the introduction and I want my money's worth. But hear me out. From this point on, you are discharged as my marriage broker. Is that clear? From here on, you're just a woman, like anyone else. What's going on? Where are you taking me?
Ephraim, he's as good as mine.
Oh, Cornelius, we've just loved looking at the lights of 14th Street for the last 4 hours, but if we don't call a hack soon, we're going to be late to the Harmonia Gardens.
Oh, no, Mrs. Malloy. We couldn't call a hack. Now, don't misunderstand me. It's not the money or anything. It's just that people nowadays don't use hacks.
Hacks are out.
They all go by streetcar.
Yeah, like Diamond Jim Morgan and J.P. Vanderbilt.
Then, by all means, streetcar.
Just imagine, I've been elegant all my life and I never knew it.
Well, of course, if you'd really like to be elegant,
We do!
you walk. All who are
It's
really us, Barnaby and Cornelius.
All the guests of Mr. Hackle are feeling great and look spectacular.
What a knack there is to that, acting like a born aristocrat. We've got elegance. If you ain't got elegance, you can never ever carry it off. All who are well-bred agree Minnie Fay has pedigree.
Exercise your wildest whims tonight. We are out with Diamond Jims tonight.
Could they be misleading us?
Silver spoons were used for feeding us.
We've got elegance. If you ain't got elegance, you can never ever carry it off. Middle class, don't speak of it, savoir faire. We reek of it. Some were born with rags and patches, but we use dollar bills for matches. And Vanderbilt kowtows to us.
J.P. Morgan scrapes and bows to us.
We've got elegance. We were born with elegance.
Have you noticed when I hold my cup, the saucer never moves?
And the way I keep my pinky up, indubitably proves.
We've got elegance. We got built in elegance, and with elegance, elegance, we'll carry it off. We've got elegance. If you ain't got elegance, never ever carry it off. We've got elegance. We've got elegance.
sweet Rosie O'Grady, my sweet little Rose, or should I say, my sweet little Horace Vandergelder.
Look, Minnie, they're counting their money again. Isn't that just like the rich? Well, gentlemen, aren't you going to escort us inside?
Of course, Miss Malloy. Barnaby. Mrs. Malloy,
Yes, Mr. Hackle?
as we start inside, may I
Yes, Mr. Hackle?
put my arm around your waist?
Yes, Mr. Hackle, but I must warn you, a corset is a corset.
And it is my order as head waiter of Harmonia Gardens and your supreme commander that tonight, of all nights, our usual lightning fast service must be twice as lightning than usual. Or else. I trust that you are finding this table satisfactory, sir. The private dining rooms do cost the talk, and they do afford the best view of entertainment.
$1.45, Cornelius. That's all that's left. Are you sure? Count it again.
Prepare yourself for a big night, Minnie. We're out with two of New York's best-known sports.
I did a mistake, Cornelius. It's only $1.35. I'll count it again. No, don't. We can't afford it.
I'm gonna order everything on the menu. Waiter!
I've told you this before, sir. You have to move. This table is reserved for Miss Levi and her party.
And who do you think I am? Only it's Horace Vandergelder and party. She's in my, and party I ain't in hers.
Mr. Vandergilder, of course. It's just that Miss Levi mentioned nothing of you bringing me here.
My personal physician. That's enough room, doctor.
But Miss Levi only ordered a chicken for two.
Chicken? Chickens are dear.
And then
Why didn't you tell us this was an Oriental establishment? We'll take 2 bowls of rice. Now get out. Now, Miss Money, I understand you carry respectable sums in your pocket.
Yeah, $2. Only it's in my garter.
It's sweet of you to worry about our reputations, Cornelius. But Minnie and I don't care who sees us tonight. Well, Minnie, what have you decided?
I couldn't have anything at these prices. I really couldn't.
great grindstones. What a sensible girl. Waiter, we'll have 4 glasses of beer, a loaf of yesterday's bread, and some cheese.
Yesterday's bread? Oh, Cornelius, now I know how you keep New York in stitches all the time. Minnie, have you ever had pheasant?
Pheasant?
Say, why the closed curtains? You ashamed of something?
It's not that. It's just I felt a slight chill.
Why didn't you say so? Here, I will loan you this. Now, why don't we order something to hold us until the rice comes? Waiter, could I get a roast suckling pig with chestnut and oyster stuffing, cheese fondue, and some extra lady fingers? Now, what'll you have? Hey, you with the big ears, what are you doing tonight after the show?
It's sweet of you to worry about our digestions, Cornelius, but I'm sure the pheasants are fresh. We'll take 4, please, and a nice red wine.
Wait, no wine.
No wine.
Champagne.
Champagne?
It's once in a lifetime, Barnaby. Champagne, Neapolitan ice cream, and hothouse peaches. And Barnaby, here's a nickel. Give it to the band leader and tell him to play To a Wild Rose. We want music while we dine.
Say, this is a cafe, isn't it? Let's dance.
The Vandergelders do not dance, Miss Money. We're Presbyterian.
Fine, I'll dance myself. Give the band leader $2 and tell him to play something refined. I'm going to do the hoochie coochie.
All right, Cornelius, I'll send for the band, but promise me you won't order anything else.
You wait here, Miss Money. I'll tell the band leader to play a nice one.
Here, give this to the band leader and tell him to play...
Miss Money!
And 2 more pheasants, please.
Cornelius!
My purse! Look, you, that's my purse. Miss Money, get off that table. You're dancing in the stew.
Hey, that's my wallet. I know it's mine because it only has $1, 3 nickels, 2 dimes, and a button. Cornelius! Did he say 2 pheasants? Make it 3. No, 4. Pheasants for the house. And I don't mind if I don't see the whale. I'll just buy my own.
Ruby, what is this? Shouting? How many times have I told you not to shout? This is Harmonia Gardens, not one of those.
But ma'am, she's here, the lady.
What? Are you sure?
Like you told me, 8 o'clock on the nose, up pulls a carriage, and out steps a tall lady with black hair and the biggest handbag I ever saw.
It's she! It's Miss Levi, she's back!
Ruby, 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 it is true. I heard laughing outside the kitchen window, and it sounded just like Dolly.
She's back! Fritz, tell the band, she's just stepped out of her carriage.
It's true, no?
It's true. She just stepped out of a white and gold carriage with 6 black horses and scarlet plumes.
Oh my gosh, it's like old times again.
Ma'am, Ruby, she's here.
Stanley. Ooh, did you lose some weight, Stanley? I think so. Dolly's overjoyed and overwhelmed and over par. I hear the eyes to sing Golly gee, fellas, find me a vacant knee, fellas. Well, fellas, look at the old girl now, fellas.
Dolly? Dolly Gallagher? What are you doing in that get-up? And you're 30 minutes late, and I demand an explanation of...
Ernestina!
Exactly.
Ernestina, whom I trusted.
She wanted to do the hoochie coochie.
Well, she always was artistic. Horace, I'm going to have our table moved down front. There's someone in the dance competition I particularly want you to see. No, don't let's say another word about it. I'm as shocked as you are. I can't eat a thing. What have you ordered?
What you wanted? A chicken. Now see here, Dolly, about that
Did you
hoochie...
say a chicken? Oh, I don't think I could face a chicken. Not a chicken. Not today. Not after what's happened.
Good. Then cancel the chicken.
And bring a turkey.
What are you doing now?
Oh, nothing. Just looking the place over, getting acquainted with the surroundings.
See, that's the trouble with you, Dolly. Always wanting to know everything. Always putting your nose into other people's affairs. Anybody who married you would get as nervous as a cat.
What? What's that you're saying?
I said anybody who married you would...
Horace Vandergelder, get that idea out of your head right this minute. Understand that I have no intention of marrying you. I'm surprised that you would even suggest such a thing.
That's not what I meant.
I certainly do hope not. Horace Vandergelder, you go your way, and I'll go mine. I'm not some Irene Malloy whose head can be turned by a few chocolate-covered peanuts, unshelled. Why the idea of you even mentioning such a thing?
Mrs. Levi, you misunderstood me.
I certainly do hope not. But understand, Horace, that if I had any intention of marrying again, it would be to a far more pleasure-loving man than you. But here's the waiter with our food. I'll serve Horace. Here's some white meat for you, and some dumplings lighter than air they are, and some giblets very tender and very good for you. Now, as I said before, you go your way and I'll go mine. Start right in on the wine. I think you'll feel better at once. But since you brought the matter up, there's one more thing I ought to say.
I didn't bring the matter up at all.
One more thing I ought to say before I forget all about it. It's true, I'm a woman who likes to know everything that's going on, who likes managing things, but I shouldn't like to manage anything so out of control as your household. You'll have to do that yourself, God helping you.
It's not out of control.
Very well, then let's not say another word about it. Have some beets, Horace. They're good.
I don't like beets.
That's nice. No, a complaining, quarrelsome, friendless soul like you would be no sort of companion for me. You salt your beets, and I'll salt mine.
Would you stop saying that?
No, the pity of it is you could be a perfectly charming, witty, amiable man if you wanted to.
I don't want to be charming.
But you are, Horace. Look at you now. You can't hide it. Now, sit down. Have some more beets.
I told you I don't like beets. Ask me to marry you, I won't.
Well, then I suppose you want me to ask you. Well, I'm sorry, Horace. I'm turning you down.
How can you turn me down when I haven't asked you anything?
It's no use arguing. I've made up your mind. Here, let me put your wings.
I'm going back to my hotel. I have a headache.
No, you can't go down. The competition's about to begin.
Thank you. She should have a head. Oh, thank you. Oh, let's see.
Here's the money for the dinner. Here's $20. Wait a minute. There's nothing in here but $1, 3 dimes, 5 pennies, and a button. This isn't my purse. I've lost my purse.
Barnaby, that purse you found.
Impossible. I can't imagine you without your purse.
It's Vanderbilt.
What am I gonna do? I've never been here before. They don't know me. Stop eating that turkey. I can't pay for it.
Horace is the latest thing, a polka! And there's one dancer I particularly want you to see.
Wait a minute. That man, that dancer.
Isn't he wonderful? With talent like that, he's sure to win the solid gold cup.
Mrs. Malloy, it's been a perfectly wonderful evening, but I'm afraid we're going to have to cut it a bit short.
Minnie, a polka. Cornelius, they must just have one dance.
But Vanderbilt is right there. We have to go.
We will go, but we'll dance our way up.
Cornelius Hackle.
Mr. Vandergelder!
Barnaby Tucker.
Mr. Vandergelder!
Ermengarde. Dolly, this is your doing. What are you plotting?
Officer, arrest that man!
You get back here with my niece.
Boy, we must get out of here now.
Bring him back here.
I'm telling you, you keep her.
Mr. Vandergelder!
I'm sorry, Mr.
You're
Boy.
get out of here. You're fired.
Hey! What's the truth, people?
Vandergelder's going to see me. Fire me. I'm not going to have a job.
Horace!
Bring
No.
that back right now!
Leave me
Bring him back
alone.
here.
Leslie?
No.
Marry me!
here.
You stay away from my niece.
Supposed to win that. Really do
Cornelius, I don't
something.
want to hear any explanations. You're fired. You hear me?
Stand from Harmonia Gardens. You can never
Oh my God.
Get back here.
Hi, Barnaby. Wow,
I'm not finished with you yet. Get back
Don't
here.
step on my dress. Don't step on my dress.
Would you get out of my way?
Step there.
Hey! Don't touch me!
We're going to get fired.
You keep your hands off me. You.
Ready tonight.
Come here.
That's better. Now, you are all charged with disturbing the peace, assault and battery, inciting a riot, and many other serious violations of the law of this city. Now, is there anyone here to speak on your behalf? I said, is there anyone here to speak on your behalf? Miss Dolly Levi, counselor at law.
Your Honor, the defense rests.
Barbie, that's not good.
No, ladies and gentlemen, there is no need to call witnesses when I see upon that bench a brow that gleams with honor, and a nose. I ask you to look at that nose, ladies and gentlemen, a nose that lights the face like a flaming beacon of justice, a living symbol of the motto of our great land, E probuscus unum. Your Honor, I ask for freedom for my clients and the verdict of guilty for the one true culprit, Horace Vandergelder of Yonkers, New York.
Dolly!
The one man responsible for these grievous charges of willful destruction of property.
A curtain torn, a wig bruised, and a solid gold cup bent.
Cruelty to a poor, unfortunate minor. Would you mind repeating that, dear?
Mrs. Levi, if it pleases the court, I have something to say.
I was just about to call you, Mr. Hackle. Go right ahead.
Cornelius Hackle, if you dare testify against me, you'll be discharged.
You've already done that, Mr. Vandergelder.
I'll do it again.
You've already done it again, too. And even if you hadn't, I'd still say what I have to say. Now, I don't know much about inciting a riot or disturbing the peace, but I do know that what happened to me today, which is the most important thing that can happen to a man, may have never happened if I would have obeyed your orders and stayed in Yonkers, New York. Your Honor, I am talking about none other than love.
You mean to tell me that after 33 years, you take one evening off and you fall in love?
Oh no, Mr. Vandergelder. I didn't fall in love with Mrs. Irene Malloy in an evening. An hour. No, even that's too long. What's shorter than a minute?
A second.
No, shorter than that.
A moment.
That's it. I'll go slowly so you can get it all down. It only takes a moment for your eyes to meet, and then your heart knows in a moment you will never be alone again. I held her for an instant, but my arms felt sure and strong. It only takes a moment to be loved a whole life long. Isn't the world full of wonderful things? there I sat, cooped up in Yonkers, while wonderful people like Mrs. Malloy wandered around New York, and I didn't know them at all. Can you see from where you're sitting the way her eye, cheek, and forehead meet from up here? Can you? I tell you right now that a fine woman is the greatest work of God on earth. You can talk all you want about the pyramids and Niagara Falls, but they just aren't in it at all. Of course, I've seen women, but today I talked to one equal to equal, and they're so different from men, and so mysterious too. I bet you could go 100 years with knowing a woman and still not truly know if she likes you or not. Today, I've lost so much. My job, my future, and everything that people think is important. But I don't care. Even if I have to dig ditches for the rest of my life, I'll be a ditch digger that once had a wonderful day.
Mr. Hackle, I missed a few words back there. Right after it only takes a moment, but his arms felt sure and strong. It only takes a moment. He held me for an instant, but his arms felt sure and strong. It only takes a moment to be loved a whole life long.
And that is all that love's about.
And we'll recall when time runs out.
That it only took a moment to be loved a whole life long.
Dismissed, dismissed. You're all dismissed. All except for Horace Vanderkilt of Yonkers, New York. You're free, my children. Go, go.
You just can't find good constables these days.
You may see the prisoner now, Mrs. Levi.
Well, Horace, that's your life. Without niece, without clerks, without bride, and without your purse. It seems there's only one thing left to say.
It's to ask me to marry you, Dolly Gallagher. Never. Not in a million years.
Oh, that wasn't it at all. I only came back to say goodbye.
What?
Goodbye.
Now, hold on, Dolly.
No, it's too late. I failed. And when a woman fails, there's nothing for her to say but goodbye.
Wait.
Goodbye.
Hey!
Goodbye. 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 Don't try and stop me, Horace, please. Wave your little hand and whisper so long, dearie. You ain't gonna see me rights, Horace. You can snuggle up with your cash register. It's a little lumpy, but it rings. Don't come a-knocking, I'll be all done up and singing that song that says you don't, I told you so. So, Horace, you will find your life a sad old story when you see your Dolly shuffle off to glory. Oh, I should have said so long ago.
And I wouldn't marry you, Dolly Gallagher, if you were the last woman on earth. Not in a million years. I didn't need you before, and I don't need you now. Dolly Gallagher, you go your way, and I'll go mine. Dolly, Dolly, Dolly!
You stay out, Mr. Vandegelder.
What? Oh, it's you, is it, Mr. Hackle? Come crawling back, have you?
Oh, no, Mr. Vandegelder. I just came back for my $146.35. You see, I'm going into business on my own, and since the only business I know is hay and feed, I decided to open up my own store.
And Cornelius has found the perfect location, Mr. Vandergelder, right across the street from you.
So you think you can compete with Vandergelders, do you? Well, just you try. And what? Another one come crawling back. And what do you want?
My entire back salary for 4 months, $12.06.
You can't do this to me. Any of you. I'll go to the courts. I'll get lawyers. I'll...
Why, Horace Vandergelder, as I live and breathe, if you aren't looking handsome today in that outfit, so few men have the courage to wear their vests unbuttoned.
Dolly Gallagher?
I know just what you're going to say, Horace. You are not satisfied with Ernestina. Well, I have another girl for you, the ideal wife. But don't let me interrupt you. You were doing something. What were you doing?
Getting Cornelius's money, Dolly. $146.
And 35 cents.
$52.48.
38.
48.
All right. If it's the money you want, then the safe is upstairs.
Money, 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 money. Mr. Vandergelder's money. It's like the sun we walk under. It can kill or it can cure. Vandergelder's never tired of saying that most of the world is fools. And in a way, he's right, isn't he? Himself, Irene, Cornelius, myself. Yes, we're all fools, and we're all in great danger of destroying the world in our folly. But the best way to keep us out of harm is to give us the 4 or 5 human pleasures that are our right in this world. And that takes a little bit of money. The difference between a little bit of money and no money at all is enormous and can shatter the world. And the difference between a little amount of money and an enormous amount is very slight, but it can shatter the world too. It's all in how you use it. As my late husband Ephraim Levi used to say, money, pardon the expression, is like manure. It's not worth a thing unless it's spread around, encouraging young things to grow. Well, that's the opinion of the second Mrs. Vandergelder anyway. Which reminds me, Ephraim, I'm ready for that sign.
That goes upstairs. What are you waiting for?
Well, as I was saying, Horace, I found you the ideal wife.
Dolly Gallagher, I don't want you to find me the ideal wives. If I want an ideal wife, I'll find one for myself. And I found her. And it's you, damn it.
Why, Horace!
I know I've been a fool about Mrs. Malloy and about that other one, but Dolly, forgive me and marry me.
Horace, stop right there.
What do you mean?
You know as well as I do that you're the first citizen of Yonkers, and your wife would have to be a somebody. Answer me, am I a somebody?
You are, wonderful woman.
Oh, you're partial. No, it wouldn't do to load your wife with money and jewels and have her be the benefactress of half the town. Which reminds me, it's bad business letting Cornelius open a shop across the street. Better to take him back and let him be your partner.
Partner?
And Barnaby can have Cornelius's old job.
Now see here, Dolly.
That way we'll all be together and we can dance at Ermengarde's wedding.
That's it, you've gone too far. I'll dance at no weddings. Besides, I don't know how, and it would take me weeks, months, years to learn. All right, I'll dance.
Why, Horace, I never thought I'd hear you say a thing like that.
That front room, idiot. Well, go on.
Horace Vandergelder, what is going on up there?
Oh, nothing. I just thought I'd have the front room done over in blue wallpaper.
Why, Horace?
I know the old wallpaper ain't worn out yet, but that fella's just set up in business, and he needs a good start. You see, I've always felt that money, pardon the expression, is like manure. It's not worth a thing unless...
Thank you, Ephraim.
Hello, Dolly, well, hello, Dolly, it's so nice to have you here where you belong. I never knew, Dolly, without you, Dolly, life was awfully flat, and more than that was awfully wrong.
Here's my hat, Horace. I'm staying where I'm at, Horace. Dolly, you'll never go away.
Wonderful woman.
Hello, Dolly, well, hello, Dolly, it's so nice to have you back where you belong. You're looking swell, Dolly, we can tell. Dolly, you're still growing, you're still growing, you're still going strong. Take the someone whose arms you're in. Hold on to tight and spin and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, look I'm dancing. And around you go. Your spirits will hit the top, and now that we're dancing, who cares if we ever stop? We held her. when you feel down and out. Free and have your picture took. Just like your spirit seems to melt out. And something when you compare us all, the world is all a smile that makes you feel brand new down to your toes. Get out your feathers, your hats and leathers, your beads and buckles and bows, for the girls will one day in your Sunday clothes. Well, well, hello, Dolly, well, hello, Dolly, it's so nice to have you back where you belong. So, Dolly, you'll never go away again.
Excuse me, everyone. Yes, don't worry, the show's over. But I have something to say. Skylar Hines, may I put my arm around your waist at prom?
Yeah, we saw Mickey inside.
That's such an open sign.